Welcome to the digestive system. We'll continue on with our APP 102 course. Today specifically speaking about the digestive system and the pathologies that affect the digestive system. Again, we're Chapter 3, Introduction to Massage Therapy, and also Chapter 5. We begin on page 130 in our textbook. The digestive system is simply the pathway for food from the moment it enters the mouth until it is eliminated at the anus. The nervous system sends motor signals to the structures of the digestive system to take in the food that we eat and transform it to a substance that can release the nutrients. The capillaries absorb the nutrients and deliver them throughout the body by the way of the blood, and the organ systems must work together for our bodies to function normally. The structures of the digestive system include the alimentary canal. This is the passageway that includes the oral cavity, the pharynx, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. And we said that the pharynx is part of the digestive as well as part of the respiratory system. So it's kind of unique in that way. The accessory digestive organs include the pancreas, the liver, the gallbladder, and the salivary glands that produce chemicals necessary for digestion. So up first we'll talk about the alimentary canal. This is simply the digestive tract. It is where food is broken down and eventually absorbed. It includes, again, the oral cavity, the pharynx, esophagus, the stomach, and the small intestines. And also the large intestines. Can't forget that one. It's constructed of 4 layers, including the mucous membrane, the submucosa, the external muscle layer, and the serous membrane. The deepest layer is the mucous membrane. It secretes mucus to lubricate the passage of the food through the canal and secretes digestive enzymes to encourage the breakdown of the food. Just outside the mucous membrane is submucosa. This layer of connective tissue is filled with blood vessels and lymph vessels. The external muscle layer is made of smooth muscle for most of the length of the canal, but the esophagus contains skeletal muscle. So it can, the outermost layer of the alimentary canal is fibrous connective tissue above the diaphragm, but below the diaphragm, most of the outer layer is serous membrane, called the visceral peritoneum. The oral cavity contains the teeth and the tongue, simply the mouth, which begin the process of digestion. Obviously, our teeth grind our food into smaller pieces, while the tongue circulates the food to make sure everything gets chewed up really well. The salivary glands are located below the tongue, above, below, and behind the TMJ muscle, or the TMJ, or the temporomandibular joint. The saliva contains enzymes that chemically break down the food even further. We have the pharynx. It has overlapping layers of skeletal muscle whose fibers run perpendicular to each other. The muscles rhythmically contract, creating peristalsis, or that wave-like contraction that moves substances through a tube. The esophagus, that's the tube that runs from the pharynx to the stomach, moving the food with the peristaltic action. Then we have the stomach. So once the food reaches the stomach, it's stored and chemically broken down even further. The smooth muscles churn the food mechanically, while gastric juice contains the chemical breakdown, or continues the chemical breakdown. The resulting chyme exits the stomach. The chyme formed in the stomach then enters the small intestine. This is the major organ for absorption. Nutrients, water, and electrolytes are absorbed here as the chyme passes through. Then we have the large intestine. This is where the chyme leaves the small intestine, enters into the large intestine. Where more water and minerals are absorbed, the bacteria in the large intestine feed on fecal material and release gas as a byproduct. Remaining fiber and other indigestible waste are eliminated at the exit of the large intestine, which is known as the anus. The accessory digestive organs we talked about, including the pancreas, the liver, the gallbladder, and the salivary glands. Typically, they secrete enzymes and hormones that are required for digestions. The pancreas also produces the hormones insulin and glucagon, which are critical for regulation of blood sugar levels. The liver makes the bile, which breaks fats into smaller pieces that are more easily digested, and it detoxifies and excretes waste and toxins. Fats and glycogen for energy are stored in the liver, as are many vitamins and iron for hemoglobin formulation. The gallbladder, a small organ just below the liver, acts sort of a holding tank for bile that is not being used. When the body must process large amounts of fats, the gallbladder releases the bile to emulsify it. And typically when you hear of someone having gallstones, it's stones that have formed in the gallbladder. The salivary glands, located anterior to the ears, which are called the parotid glands, under the tongue, which are sublingual glands, and just under the lower jaw, submandibular glands, all produce saliva, which chemically break down the starches, inhibits bacterial growth, and eases the process for chewing and swallowing. This is another picture of the digestive tract. You see the parotid salivary gland, the submandibular here, sublingual here, your liver, esophagus, that pharynx that's also part of the respiratory system. And it splits off into the pharynx, down to the stomach. You got your small and large intestines, and finally everything is passed through the anus. So I have 3 videos for you to watch. We'll pause while you do that, and then come back and we'll continue on with the functions. Okay, so the functions of the digestive system. Our digestive system is responsible for taking the food that we consume, delivering the nutrients to the body. It can do this by mechanically and chemically breaking down, breaking down our food and absorbing it and eliminating the indigestible remains, all while moving it through the digestive tract by propulsion and smooth muscle contraction called peristalsis. First up, we have digestion. This is the process of breaking down food by the mechanical and chemical activity. Several muscles are involved in the process of digestion. The process includes chewing, which includes the mandible, or the muscles to move the mandible of the lower jaw. The muscles of the tongue push food around the mouth to be chewed completely, and then skeletal and smooth muscles create peristalsis. Next, we have absorption. This is where the broken down food releases nutrients that are absorbed into the body. Typically, it's absorbed into the blood and the lymph in the intestines. From there, the nutrients can be delivered throughout the rest of the body via the circulatory system. Elimination. This is where undigested food becomes fecal matter. We cannot digest every component of the food, such as cellulose from plants, so the digestive system eliminates the parts we cannot digest. The indigestible material, along with water and bacteria in the digestive tract, is called fecal matter. So we have fecal matter that's then propelled through the digestive tract and eliminated through the anus to the external environment, at which point it's called feces. And finally we have peristalsis. This is where the smooth muscles of the digestive tract, as were discussed in the muscular system section, are layered structures capable of long sustained contractions. The rhythmic contractions are called the peristalsis, and this is what happens to the rhythmic contractions and stuff actually is what propels the food on through the digestive system. We have the effects of massage on the digestive system. Okay, so massage is going to stimulate cellular metabolism and increase the delivery of nutrients to the cells and the tissues. And it can also mechanically push indigestible waste through the intestines. Massage also invokes the parasympathetic nervous response that encourages digestive activity. Now, how many of you have ever been getting a massage and your stomach starts growling? That's a normal response because massage evokes the parasympathetic nervous system, and we learned that the parasympathetic nervous system reaction to it is digestion. So if you've gotten a massage and your stomach starts growling, that's a good sign. It means you're relaxed and your parasympathetic system has kicked in. And also the fact that massage does evoke the parasympathetic system and it does encourage digestion, you're also typically hungry after getting a massage too. So now complete your activity. Include the major components of the digestive system, the functions of the digestive system, and the effects of massage on the digestive system. Again, this is going to be a great study tool for you for when you get ready for your MLEX. And we will continue on with the digestive system conditions on page 248. Okay, this section we're only going to talk about a couple of systems. Our book specifically discusses two. The first is irritable bowel syndrome. But before that, we note that stress evokes the sympathetic nervous system response, which slows digestion. So clients who have gastrointestinal conditions are typically those that have a lot of stress. So if you reduce the stress, then you reduce the gastrointestinal problems and hopefully reduce some of their conditions or symptoms. So irritable bowel syndrome manifests as irregular bowel activity, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal bloating, and intestinal cramping. There are no contraindications for massage. Massage is indicated due to the fact that it reduces the stress and helps promote the parasympathetic response, which helps promote normal peristalsis to help with excretion. The cause of irritable bowel syndrome can be stress, anxiety, and diet. Treatments typically include lifestyle changes to reduce stress and anxiety, changes in diet, and now there's several medications that they can use to suppress the symptoms. Then next up we have peptic ulcers. Peptic ulcers are commonly just referred to as ulcers. They're open sores. They can be in the esophagus, the stomach, the intestines that are resistant to healing due to physical irritation or ineffective healing processes. They're typically accompanied by burning pain in the stomach or chest, sometimes eased by eating. And other symptoms include abdominal bloating, burping, or vomiting after meals. Massage that involves mechanical manipulation or pressure is locally contraindicated for peptic ulcers. So you do not do, if someone has a peptic ulcer, you do not do abdominal massage, nothing that's going to do any type of compression or anything like that over the area of the ulcer. Massage is indicated in order to reduce stress, to increase circulation of blood and lymph, and to aid in healing, as long as the abdomen is avoided. Causes can vary. The etiology varies Treatments include antibiotics, antacids, avoidance of medications that cause symptoms. Also, they typically tell them to avoid alcohol. Okay, so that's it with the digestive system. Really short and sweet, but it gets what we need as massage therapists across, and let you complete assignments and your quiz, review any videos if necessary, and we will continue next with the endocrine system.